Hi there. Let's learn some things about what the Bible says regarding doing life together for those who follow Jesus. Of course, a real relationship with Jesus first requires your own personal experience and belief. But in Hebrews 10:25, it tells the followers of Jesus to not give up on meeting together and encouraging one another, therefore continuing to relate to one another. For most people, that means going to church. So let's look at what thinking, experiences, and reactions people have about going to church. Maybe you grew up going to church because your parents or a relative or a friend took you. Or maybe at some point in your life you needed to connect with God and you found your way into a church all by yourself. So when a person thinks, what is church? They first go back to their own experiences about church, or maybe what others have told them, or what they have seen in the movies. And those experiences can be very different for each of us. Some of us have experienced a meeting or church that was very intense, or loud, or emotional. Others have been where things are quiet, with a lot of order and structure and ritual. As different as churches are, so are the reactions of people to church. Some remember being bored. Others were shocked, maybe not understanding what was going on. Reactions range from feeling like you were drugged to church against your will, all the way to excitement and anticipation about your next visit to church. Unfortunately, it seems like a lot of people have bad experiences regarding church. They may say, I felt like an outsider. All they wanted was my money. It was boring. I felt judged. And the comments go on and on. So church becomes equated with religion, and many people say, I'm not interested in religion. And interestingly enough, what is meant by religion is usually not clearly defined, except for the fact that it is negative. And although negative voices are often the loudest, there are many people who are very happy with their church experience and involvement. They receive encouragement and blessing. They find good friends and people who really love them. Contrary to popular belief, a lot of people love church and go on a regular basis because they want to. But no matter your experience or attitude about church, life together following Jesus is more than going to church. It's more than a building or a meeting several hours a week. Let's look at the Bible, and especially in the book of Acts, to see what it reveals about the principles of New Testament church life. Notice I didn't say how to run a church meeting, but more than that, how did they do life together? In the book of Acts, the story continues about Jesus once he ascended back to heaven. The work he did while on the earth, he then committed to his disciples to continue in his name. This story is about the start of the church and its adventure for the first 30 or 40 years. What foundations did they set at the very beginning, and what did they do in the first generation? Can this 2,000-year-old story help us today? Can we learn things that will benefit us now? I believe it can. The church in the book of Acts was amazing. Of course it had some problems and persecutions, but they were full of love for God and for each other. They were full of passion, and the miracles of God followed them daily. And they grew in numbers every day. In the first 10 to 20 years, they spread across the entire Roman Empire. A number of verses in the book of Acts give record to their growth. In fact, here's a list of every mention concerning the conversion of people to Christianity in the book of Acts. 28 references. This is an average of one per chapter. As these people did life together well, thousands and thousands of other people wanted to join them. One story in Acts 17 records the statement of certain city leaders who were upset that the Christian church leaders had come to their city. They said, "These men who have turned the world upside down have now come to our city." What a statement, letting us know how influential the church had become. This is not how it is today in America and in many parts of the world. But can it be that way again? I think the world needs that influence, even though some don't like it. So as we look into the book of Acts and later into other parts of the Bible, we will discover wisdom and gain understanding from the principles of God we find there. We are not going to find rules per se and a specific how to do checklist, but we will find principles that can be applied in any culture and situation that will work, like they did in the beginning. I like this quote from President Franklin Roosevelt. So I hope you will check out the future videos posted here as we dig into discovering and dissecting these principles as we redefine church and church life according to Bible truth. Have a wonderful day.